when Deviri first came out, it brought along an Arcane that is really good for me. It's called Longbow Sharpshot. I finally maxed it out, so let's have a look at it. We're here in the simulacrum with Mag. Okay, so we have a testing build. This is basically like a baseline build. It's nothing spectacular, but it should demonstrate clearly what Longbow Sharpshot does. So the first enemy, without Longbow Sharpshot active, has taken 2,000 damage. The second enemy, who does now have Longbow Sharpshot active, has taken 8,000 damage. It is a ×4 multiplier. This also works with Arcane mode. First enemy... Whoa, hang on. First enemy without Longbow Sharpshot has taken a fair bit of damage, I think. We'll try that again. A fair bit of damage. But the second enemy has taken significantly more damage. Let's have a quick look at the build that we're using as like a sort of baseline build. This is the baseline build. It's nothing spectacular. In fact, we're even using Fusillade because I just don't want to actually use a proper element in my build. So without getting into like viral memes and all that jazz, this is the baseline build. It's nothing special. Of course, what is special is the Platinum Arrow build. Let's have a look at what kind of shenanigans we can get to with this. Same idea. First enemy, no Longbow Sharpshot. It's taking 3,000 on a yellow crit. Second enemy with Longbow Sharpshot. It's taking a lot more damage. 33,000 damage. 15,000 damage on a yellow crit. That is actually what's supposed to happen. You basically get a ×4 multiplier. And of course, it works on good old-fashioned Arcane mode. So, first enemy without Longbow Sharpshot. What is that, like 20,000 damage on an orange crit or something like that? Second enemy with Longbow Sharpshot. A lot more damage, basically. 15k on an orange crit. 4k on an orange crit. 21k on a red crit. You know, there are things that are happening. And then, of course, you know, we start to really build up some other bonuses. Like, for example, Galp Scope. Condition Overload, even. And as you can see, we are starting to do a lot more damage. Bigger ticks. 130k on an orange crit. Just like that. 200,000 on a red crit. And this is against Steel Path Corrupted Heavy Gunners. Now, there is one other way that you can massively increase the amount of damage that you're doing with Longbow Sharpshot. And that is in the form of gas damage. I do have negative status chance here, but we also have, you know, status chance, status chance, status chance, status duration, status chance, and condition overload. Fire rate, multi-shot, damage. This should be really, really good. Let me show you what this looks like. Against the singular enemy, I am about to commit a war crime. Ignore the 55k, that's actually a slash proc. It's actually the 374 damage that we're actually worried about, because that is actually the gas damage, not the slash damage. And so now that we actually have Longbow Sharpshot active, ignore the 55k and focus on the 1,547 damage tick. So that's another ×4 multiplier. Of course, gas tends to work really, really well in groups. And so the war criming continues. First arrow. Everyone's taking like 413 damage, 40 damage, 413 damage. But second arrow. I think I'm seeing some 2,000 damage ticks pop up. Some 1,450 something damage ticks pop up. Awesome. I'm seeing some 2,000 damage ticks pop up. That's the idea. I don't know if gas quadratically scales, but the premise is that you're meant to use gas damage in some form of an AoE in order for these enemies to take even more damage. That being said, there is an even faster way to kill these enemies using gas damage, and that's to use the Arcane mode as well. First arrow, without Longbow Sharpshot. We've got some 600s, 700s. Second arrow with Longbow Sharpshot. Now we're starting to see some 4-digit numbers pop up. Just like that. That's the thing about Longbow Sharpshot. It is a final damage multiplier. Because it's a final damage multiplier, that means you're going to need to bring back some mods that we thought we would never really ever use again, and those mods are Serration. So if you are an archery main, because this is not available for non-archery mains, sucked in, then Serration is probably back on the menu. My Riven does have some plus damage, base damage shenanigans, so I'm not going to be using Serration myself on the Paris Prime at the very least. But for those of us who don't have Rivens that have, you know, god rolls and all that jazz, you're going to want to bring back Serration, because that is base damage increase, which is another way of increasing your damage, whereas Longbow Sharpshot is a final damage multiplier. So it's a bit of a different kind of thing. They're not going to stack on top of each other in a similar capacity. They're going to stack on top of each other in the sense that they're going to work well with each other instead. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. One great thing about Longbow Sharpshot as opposed to something like Primary Deadhead is that where Primary Deadhead needs you to continuously kill enemies in order to maintain the bonus, Longbow Sharpshot just needs you to actually maintain headshots. And because you only need to maintain headshots with an infinite duration, by the way, on Longbow Sharpshot, that means that you can also use this really effectively against bosses. You might not be able to use something like Galv's Scope really effectively against bosses, but you're still going to be able to use the final damage multiplier from Longbow Sharpshot really effectively against bosses. Whether you're playing a gas build or whether you're playing a normal build, it's entirely up to you, but either way, you can use this against bosses really well. So that is another factor that is going to make Longbow Sharpshot, I think, the best arcane for your bow. If you don't have it, or if you happen to not have any like damage, base damage increases on your build, then you can potentially make an argument to actually go for Primary Deadhead, because that one's easier to get than Longbow Sharpshot. But hopefully you'll be able to fit Serration in some meaningful capacity on your build, and at that point you can go and use Longbow Sharpshot. I think that would be a really good idea. Otherwise, let me know what all this in the comments below. How do you feel about Longbow Sharpshot? Do you have Longbow Sharpshot maxed out? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Warframe content. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Running out of time. Consider extraction.